Great. So I would want to draw your attention to November 2019, November 2019, November 2019, question number 2. 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 So, and please, as I said, it will be very important for you to buy these revision kits. At 1,000 bob, you should be able to get yourselves CASNEB questions and, of course, suggested answers there. So November 2019, question number 2, have we gotten the question itself? H limited. I can see good questions there. So perhaps I should finish this and then we go back to answering those questions. Great. So don't mix these questions on the videos. So November 2019, question number 2, boy, H limited. H limited. H limited. Evelyn, thank you very much. H limited, H limited. A public limited company whose functional currency is the Kenya shilling. Functional currency is the Kenya shilling. Operates in the mining sector and has recently acquired a foreign subsidiary, B. So we've acquired a foreign subsidiary. The functional currency of B Limited is the krone, just like the Swedish crowns. The following draft statements of financial position relates to the two entities. So I can see H Limited Kenya shillings million and the B Limited crowns millions. Crowns millions. So ladies and gentlemen, what are we told here? Crowns millions. What are we told here? Additional information, note number 1. On 1st October 2018, H Limited acquired 80% of the ordinary shares of B Limited when B Limited's retained earnings were 3,100 million crowns. The fair value of the identifiable net assets of B Limited on 1st October 2018 was 9,008 million crowns. The excess of the fair value over the carrying amount of the net assets is due to an increase in the value of land. 2. H Limited wishes to use the full goodwill method and the fair value of the non-controlling interest in B Limited as at 1st October 2018, when we were acquiring this, was 4550 million crowns. There has not been any impairment of goodwill since acquisition. Note 3 will not help me for today. Note 4 will not help me for today. Note 5, I shall be using it. Consolidated statement of financial position for H Group as at 30th September 2019. So the first thing that I'll do, I must understand my group structure, very important. So we have the H Limited that bought 80% of who? Of a company known as B Limited. So of course, 80%, as I said in the other video, is very high, is a controlling interest. 80% is a controlling interest. So meaning that B is a subsidiary. And if it's a subsidiary, then straight away, 80% belongs to the parent. This is controlling. Then 20% is NCI, non-controlling. Then the very first thing I will do as a group accountant, as a group accounting specialist, is to assess the value of the assets of the subsidiary. Very important. I cannot miss that step. The net assets of the subsidiary. So come and give us the net assets of the subsidiary. Net assets of the subsidiary called B, like this. You write here at acquisition, and then we have here at reporting. So remember, net assets, ladies and gentlemen, we shall always look at the equity components. Equity components, what do we have here? Equity components, we have the ordinary share capital. Ordinary share capital, we have the share premium. We have the share premium. We have retained earnings. We have retained earnings. We have, ladies and gentlemen, in this case here, fair value what here? Fair value adjustment. Fair value adjustment. Fair value adjustment. fair value adjustment. So net assets of this, and remember that this subsidiary is based in some foreign country. This is a foreign subsidiary. That can never scare me out of my skin. Can never scare me. That's a simple thing. So net assets of the subsidiary. Very important for me. Ladies and gentlemen, please come here. 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 So come here and give us, come here and give us the equity components. Is there somebody who can see for B limited? For B limited, is there anybody who is able to see the ordinary share capital of B? Ordinary share capital of B limited from the financial statements given. They are not talking to me. I don't know who they would want to talk to today. 3640 crowns. Thank you very much. 3640. 3640. Here, 3640 at reporting. Then we have share premium 1820. Share premium is 1820. Then we have retained earnings of what year? 3640. So if I'm the one, I know what I should transfer here to acquisition very fast. Ordinary share capital doesn't change. So 3640. Share premium does not change. 1820. Retained earnings, they will always give you retained earnings at acquisition. Have they given me the retained earnings of this company at acquisition? Have they given me the retained earnings of this company at which note number? 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 Note number 1, where we are told on 1st October 2018, H Limited acquired 80% of the ordinary shares of B Limited, when B Limited's retained earnings were 3,100 million crowns. And then this question is a special question because they went ahead and they gave you the net assets of total net assets of B Limited at acquisition. Yes, they gave you the total now. They gave you what we call the total now, the total net assets at acquisition. So the total net assets at acquisition, is there somebody who can see this figure? Yes, they gave us. They gave us. The fair value of the identifiable net assets of B Limited on 1st October 2018 was 9,008 million crowns. 9,008. 9,008. And then they are telling you that the difference between this and these three should go to the fair value adjustment, which basically they have told you is learned. So they tell you learned and they are telling you that there shall not be depreciation. So is there somebody who can give me the balancing figure? 9,008 minus this, minus this, minus this, abracadabra. So I'm being given a figure of 448. 448, thank you very much, 448. Of course, this 448 will also prevail here. Although this one, please, there could be a few things that will be affecting our net assets at reporting. Don't be in a hurry to add this. As now we get to some complex question, don't be in a hurry. You can add always this very fast, but not this. This one will may be affected by other things later on. So this one, just leave it like that. And of course, in an exam, because I'm so sure most of you normally don't even go ahead to finish this, which is okay because the examiner really doesn't mark correct answers. So at times you can even come and just put like that, and then you show the examiner that you are very sad. You never understood this thing totally. You draw something like that. Perhaps the examiner may wonder what type of a person you may impress the examiner. You may impress the examiner. Instead of leaving it blank. Yeah, so we shall overcome. We shall overcome. But don't be using sad faces. Don't be using sad emojis. They have to be good, smiling emojis. So now that you have been able to get the total net assets at acquisition, what do you think will be the next thing to be done? What do you think will be the next thing to be done regarding this subsidiary? Regarding this subsidiary, what do you think will be the next thing to be done? What do you think? Goodwill. Thank you very much. So we mentioned there, even if we understand nothing, we shall write there goodwill of the subsidiary in capital letters, and even if possible, underline. So come and start right away by scaring the examiner. You scare the examiner. You scare the examiner. You scare the examiner. So let's scare the examiner. Let's scare the examiner. So you say a goodwill of the subsidiary. Goodwill the subsidiary called B, like that. Goodwill of the subsidiary called B, like that. Goodwill of the subsidiary called B, like that. Great. So then if it's goodwill of the subsidiary, they have told you expressly, and even if they don't tell you, IFRS 3 will always prefer full method. But here they told us. So it's full method. So if it's full method, I will talk of the consideration paid by the parent and the consideration paid by NCI. So we have here consideration paid by the parent. Consideration paid by the parent. By the parent. Is there anybody who is able to see the consideration that was paid by the parent here? Is there anybody who can see the consideration that was paid by the parent? According to Monica, it is 838. I can't see it. It's which note do you guys get this? You guys are geniuses in the financial statements. All right. All right. So in this case here, you can see investment in B Limited. Investment in B Limited. So the investment in B Limited is 838. But you see this 838, now there is confusion there. This 838 is in Kenya shillings. And yet goodwill of a foreign-based subsidiary must be computed in that foreign land. We are still foreigners. Even the net assets we got those net assets in which values? In the crowns currency. We are still foreign. We are not yet home here. We haven't started the translations, right? So in this case here, these guys have given us 838. 838, I would need to translate this. So consideration here, this 838 must be translated. But now remember, this is at acquisition. So I must use the exchange rate at acquisition. This money was paid on 1st of October. Was it 1st of October? 1st October 2018. So in note number 5, is there anybody who is able to see the exchange rate which was prevailing on 1st October 2018? 6, 6, 6, 6. So then tell me, hey, you experts over foreign exchange, tell me, should I multiply to get this? You know, these are in Kenya shillings. To get this in crowns, should I multiply or should I divide? Should I multiply or should I divide? Multiply, yes. We should multiply because these are crowns to 1 Kenya shilling. So meaning it is 6 crowns equals 1 Kenya shilling. So this means it is 6 crowns equals 1 Kenya shilling. So how about in this case here, 838 Kenya shillings? So times 6 like that, which will end up giving me some figure there. 5028. Thank you very much. 5028. Thank you very much. Somebody is asking how did we know that this 838 is in, thank you, that's a good question. You can see in the column there, it's H Limited, Kenya shillings. So 838 is Kenya shillings. So we must reinstate this to crowns because goodwill of a foreign subsidiary must always be calculated in that foreign currency. Thank you very much. How about consideration paid by NCI? Consideration paid by NCI. So remember, this is NCI fair value at acquisition. Fair value of NCI at acquisition. Are you able to see this figure somewhere there? Is there somebody who can see which note there? Somebody. Note 2. H Limited wishes to use the full goodwill method and the fair value of a non-controlling interest in B Limited as at 1st October 2018 was 4550. And then it will come under less net assets, less net assets, you less net assets, you less net assets, you less net assets at acquisition, net assets of the subsidiary. Is there somebody who is able to see this figure really? Net assets at acquisition, 9008. So please subtract there for you to give us goodwill at acquisition. Goodwill at acquisition. So is there somebody who is able to get this goodwill at acquisition? 570. So 570 like that. Do we have any impairment? 570 crowns. Do we have any impairment? Have they given us any policy on impairment? No, isn't it? No impairment. So there's no impairment. Impairment loss is 0. Impairment loss is 0, meaning goodwill at reporting, goodwill at reporting will be 570. Will be 570. Good questions there. But remember, now we shall develop, we are developing a case. We're developing a case. So like now in the next subsequent questions, you guys will be seeing there is impairment of 10%. So if it's impairment of 10%, 57 will be subtracted. For now, just understand that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this goodwill now we are coming back home. Now we are coming back home. When we are coming back home with this goodwill, the goodwill at acquisition translate goodwill at acquisition using the opening rate. So please come here and retranslate. So here, translation. So let's translate this. So the opening rate, are you able to remember? Is there anybody who is able to remember? Is there anybody who is able to remember? Is there anybody who is able to remember the translation rate? These guys have forgotten this. These guys have forgotten this. The translation rate, is there anybody who is able to remember? The translation rate at the beginning, at acquisition, the opening is 6 years. But now remember, at reporting, the exchange rate, ladies and gentlemen, is different. At reporting, the exchange rate is different. Look at the closing rate at the end of the year. Is there somebody who is able to see the closing rate at the end of the year? These guys are not seeing. These guys are not seeing. 5, right? 5. So now we are coming back home. And whenever you are coming back home with this goodwill, you retranslate the goodwill at acquisition using the opening rate, using the rate at acquisition, and then you retranslate the closing goodwill at the closing rate. At the closing rate, of which there's somebody who has just told me that it is 5. I don't know how true this is. Yes, 30th September 2019. That's our closing rate. That is the financial statement date. Financial statement date is 5. So in this case here, divide this by 5. So could you kindly give me these figures? And now we are translating these to Kenya shillings. We are coming back home. You are coming back home. We are coming back home. So somebody is telling me that this one here is supposed to be 90. What year? 95. This is supposed to be 95. This is supposed to be 95. How about 570 divided by 5? 570 divided by 5? 114. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, in this case, then, I'm able to see an exchange gain. I'm able to see an exchange gain that I was at 95, now I'm at 114. So is there somebody who can calculate this exchange gain for me? Please come and calculate this exchange gain. It's an exchange gain. It's an exchange gain. So this exchange gain, when you subtract these two, I'm being told by Umi, I'm being told by, the name has disappeared there, 14, eh? No, 19. 19. Josephine, check again. Use your calculator. Use your calculator, please. Use your calculator, please. Check again. So again, this will change a little bit when we shall encounter this impairment loss. Like now, impairment loss, of course, the impairment loss, as we shall be seeing, ladies and gentlemen, impairment loss is an income statement item. And And income statement items for translation, we normally use the average. You'll be able to see here. You'll be able to see here. You'll be able to see here. You'll be able to see in the question where they're giving you the average exchange rate for the year. But we shall reach there. Let's not jump the gun. Let's not jump the gun. It's step by step. It's step by step. For now, we are getting an exchange gain of 19. Now, once we get this exchange gain, I know you must have done this with your teachers, wherever you guys are doing this thing from. I know you must have done this with your teachers in class. When you get this exchange gain, what do you do with it? Just like post-acquisition profits, you share out. So the parent will get 80% of this, and the NCI will get 20%. But again, we shall come there. We shall come there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Again, this particular video, I'll be able to put it on my YouTube channel today, right now, actually. Especially for the students who have just come in a bit late. Ladies and gentlemen, ensure that you are able to get that. I'll share the link in the group. And don't forget to subscribe. You must have your teacher being revalued upwards to reach international status. That's what I'm praying for, to reach international status. And that subscription, I really, really appreciate it, because I can see you're going to subscribe in advance. Otherwise, what we shall do, ladies and gentlemen,